Welcome back, everybody. This is Gold Standard 00924 coming at you. Now, here I am. Before I get started, I want to introduce some of my some of my video game, a little bit of my video game collection, because it kind of got cut off abruptly, so I didn't show the rest of my other games I left out there. So, here's the Pokemon Gold. Oh, not the Pokemon Gold. The Gold Pokemon Silver and Pokemon Red. No, the first two generation Pokemon games. I have played Ruby, the ones in the Hoenn region, but I don't think they hold a candle to the previous generations. It was very minimal and it was alright. For a Pokemon RPG game, it was alright, good. As usual, enjoyable, so to speak. But still, it just doesn't hold a place to my heart like the Johto and the Kano regions. So basically the other games I want to mention that kind of got left out for some reason. So there you have it. Now, getting back on the subject here, if you notice the title of the screen, this is going to be my WCW Halloween Havoc 1996 review. Now, this is going to be my first attempt at one. I've subscribed to many users out there that have done this sort of concept. Not just wrestling pay-per-views, but, certain TV shows. So I'm just going to try and test the waters out there. I figured, try to be experiment, try something new. So to not get in depth, let's just hop into it. The opening bout we have here is for the Cruiserweight Championship. Malenko, the challenger, and takes on Rey Mysterio Jr., who is the champion. Now I must admit, WCW was really good with, really great with when it comes to opening matches. You just have you in awe. They have the entire crowd just up, standing in ovation. So there was great. There was I think these two have some great chemistry. They did some great reversals. I like how like one of Malenko's counters, like Rey Mysterio's head scissors, and it gets reversed into a sidewalk slam, as well as the springboard Hurricane Rana and into the sit down powerbomb. That was pretty good shit. You know, Mysterio did a couple of aerial attacks, more specifically the somersault sentons. It was a great balance between technical pace and fast paced action. Knowing those two, I think it works so well. I think this. Malenko with the some of his submission holds, he did that. Hence the nickname "Man of a Thousand Holds." The match ends with the gun wrench powerbomb from the top rope. No, this was a really enjoyable match. It was no, it didn't have to involve like cheap tactics or typical heel, what typical heel characters do. So this was actually one of the very few matches on this card that actually had a clean victory. So yeah, this was a really great match. Match gets about 4 stars. And then the next match you have is DDP versus Eddie Guerrero, which was for the Battle of the Ring. Now, the backstory here was about DDP won the Battle Bowl match at Slamboree, where he got the ring. He got the ring, and apparently for the past couple months, one or two wrestlers pretty much like snatched his token, and eventually, he had to go back to get it. He had to earn it. So Eddie pretty much won the Battle Ring in one of the Clash of the Champion episodes, I believe. But it was it was around the August September time period, so Eddie held it for quite amount of time. So the match itself was a really kind of a it was kind of exchange off. They both start off with a few headlocks, submissions. They exchanged offense as well. Nick Patrick plays a role in this bout, and the match sort of ends with DDP ending with annihilating the Diamond Cutter on Eddie Guerrero for the 3 count. So DDP wins back the Battle of the Ring. Very disappointing. It was knowing those two, it was a pretty solid match. I think it could have been a lot better, like in their Starrcade '96 match. I think that was kind of a step up from it since they're fighting more than just just a pointless just a pointless value, pointless prize. I think this match was pretty solid. Could have been a lot better. I never understood why Tony Schiavone claimed that it was a fast count when in fact Nick Patrick was just counting regularly. I didn't understand that one. DP versus Eddie gets about 2.25 stars, and the next match we have is the Giant versus Jeff Jarrett. This was not a good match in my opinion. Originally, it was going to be Giant versus Ric Flair for the U.S. title, but since Flair was injured, Jeff Jarrett, who had just debuted prior, kind of takes his spot, takes Ric Flair's spot, that is. It was a non-title matchup. Jarrett starts off with the striking a couple jabs, a couple punches. The only thing that was really, that really got me into it was, Ric Flair. Ric Flair doing what he usually does. He tries to imitate Flair and all that, intimidate the Giant. And then then the referee gets knocked out, and then when he gets up, he finds out, Ric Flair did a low blow on the Giant, thus causing Jeff Jarrett to get DQ'd. Not much to really ride home about. No, nothing really memorable for a short period of time. Match gets about 1.5 stars. I mean, if it wasn't for Ric Flair, this match would have been either a dud or just simply just 1 star. But 1.5 is kind of, it's just me probably getting me generous enough. So there you have it. Next we have is Chris Jericho versus Syxx. This was a step up from the Giant Jarrett match. Even though it didn't last very long, you saw some quick coming back and forth pacing here and there. Jericho did his fair share of aerial attacks, his fair share of talents, his offense, that is. Syxx also to some extent, and the match ends. Jericho kind of trash talks McPatrick, not getting the pinfall, and it ends with Jericho turns around, the Syxx gets a spinning heel kick, connects, for the 3 count. Just a step up. I mean, could have been a little more there. Jericho versus Syxx. I think they have some pretty solid matches, even when Syxx was wrestling as X-Pac in the WWF or WWE. So, Jericho versus Syxx gets 3 stars. The next match we have is Lex Luger versus the Enforcer Arn Anderson. Really, an even better match. The backstory kind of picks up from Fall Brawl when Arn Anderson kind of blames Lex Luger for their loss at War Games, and in the match itself, there was some nice ring psychology from both men. Working the back portion of their bodies. You saw a couple ringside brawls here and there. There was a notable moment when Luger did a slingshot to Anderson to the ring post. And eventually he also, top of that, he uses a steel chair, injuring the back of Arn Anderson, and pretty much ends with Lex Luger applying the back on Anderson with the torch rack. And after he won, he's continuously still applies a lot of pressure. And there's another thing to note that this was pretty much Arn Anderson's last match in WCW, with hence the kayfabe injury, I believe. And then after that, the medics came out and they kind of treated him. So I thought it told a great story. I mean, these guys go way back to their Horseman days. It's a really long story there, so I'm not gonna get into that. I think this was a really enjoyable match. So Luger and Anderson gets about 3.25 stars. And next match, speaking of the Horsemen, it kind of segues in here to the next match. The Faces of Fear versus Chris Benoit and Steve Mongo McMichael. this was just a solid, pretty good match. I mean, there was given a little more time here. Kind of wish they get a little more time here, but I thought I like the whole Mongo doing the 3 point stance, and he and Ming got taken down in the thud. And there was a nice double team combo from the Faces of Fear with the suplex and the body splash. And you know, not also to note that no the way Barbarian did that belly to belly suplex off the top rope. Benoit just kind of Barbarian kind of threw or tossed Benoit pretty landing hard on the back on the canvas. And the match ends with Mongo clubbing either Meng or Barbarian, one of the guys, and Benoit hits the diving headbutt for the win. And then after that, Conan and the rest of the Dungeon of Doom members kind of assault both Benoit and Mongo. So the match was still pretty good for what it was. Overall, Mongo and Benoit versus the Face of Fear get about 3 stars. And then we get to the Tag Team Championship match with the Outsiders and Harlem Heat. The match started off pretty slow. I mean, a couple stare downs and as well as a couple lockups and tie ups there. There was a notable moment where Scott Hall and Sherry kind of made a lip lock and all that. And the ending, I thought it was kind of iffy here. It's kind of questionable. Colonel Parker just hands Nash the cane, which he knocks on one of the Harlem Heat members, either Booker T or Steve Ray. I don't remember. And then eventually, Outsiders win the World Tag Titles. And surprisingly enough, Colonel Parker didn't join the NWO. Which is probably understandable considering the fact that there was tensions between Parker and Sensational Sherry. So I think this could have been a better match, but I thought it was alright. I mean, it's not all that bad, but typical heel finish. Kind of wish Kevin Nash won or one of the members of the Outsiders won cleanly, but hey, they're called the NWO for a reason. So overall, the match gets about 2.5 stars, I believe. Yeah, 2.5 stars. And then we get to our main event, which was with the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. The champion Hulk Hogan versus the challenger Randy Savage. This match was, despite the build-up it got, was pretty disappointing. Because after Randy Savage looked at the video package from Miss Elizabeth, he just wasn't the same. There could have been he could have been used as a motivation. I mean, top of that, the match was really one-sided. I mean, I think it would have been better off if Savage just came out and just beat the crap out of Hogan. Just get the fans up there. I think it would have been a great start to the match. But no. It was. I mean, Savage didn't really come back and got his ass whipped, handed to him until towards the end. And of course, the referee gets knocked out, and with the clothesline there, and he tried to do an elbow drop, but then Nick Patrick goes in, and after that 1-2, he just refused to make the 3 count. And then another interference came with the Giant chokeslamming Savage on the ring side, and he rolls Savage in the ring for Hogan to retain the title. So basically, Hulk Hogan's still the champion. Very disappointing match. This match gets about 2 stars. Could have been a lot better. That's pretty much what I have to say. Leave your thoughts on there. You could comment. You could rate. Tell me what you think about this. This is my first time reviewing this. Reviewing a certain TV show or something. But that's all I say. So in the meantime, I'll be back with another video. So in the meantime, I'm out.